Good afternoon, my name is Jordan Martinez. I'm going to give a presentation on a possible vacation destination titled Chichen Itza. So Chichen Itza is located at the northern tip of the Yucatan Peninsula of modern Mexico. You can see it's located right here by Cancun, Cozumel area. At its prime, it flourished in 750 through 1200 CE. It is one of the greatest Mesoamerican cities and is a popular tourist destination in Mexico. So I'm going to go over in this presentation over Chichen Itza's religion, architecture, and agriculture. So it gives you an overview and a brief summary of Chichen Itza as a whole, and hopefully this will influence or open some minds of you guys to maybe travel or eventually visit Chichen Itza in your lifetime. So first off, Chichen Itza's religion is a polytheistic religion. That means that they believe in many gods. The Mayan religious beliefs are formed on the notion that virtually everything in the world contains ka, or sacredness. So here's I'm going to go briefly over some of the gods they believe in. Itzaman is lords of the heavens as well as night and day, and that's mostly their most sacred god, like the ones they mostly pray to. The second one is Chak. He is the god of rain and agriculture. They do a lot of rain dances or to try to please him so they can grow a lot of crops in the area. Apuk is the god of death, and then Ekchua is the god of war and human sacrifice. Next, I'm going to discuss the rituals they do. So one of the main rituals they do is bloodletting. That is the spilling of blood as a practice of sacrifice. The gods demanded blood because the initial creation, where the gods spilled their blood in order to give life to humanity. And they also do this to communicate with their ancestors. Men and women are expected to participate in this. They created this tool like a knife thing. It's made from a spine of a stingray. So it's like really sharp and it can really draw blood really fast. The women would mostly slice their tongues in order to do this process. And the men would do also various body parts to do this also. They also did human sacrifices. This helped please the gods. Gods wanted blood, and they would do this a lot. At the very top of Chichen Itza, there's a little hole, and that's where they would do their sacrifices at. They would usually do decapitation and let the head roll all the way down the steps to the bottom. They also did dances. That also helped with pleasing the gods and asking for, such as the rain god. They wanted to rain, they do a rain dance. They also built these wells, and they would put children in these dugout wells, and it would also help them talk to their ancestors as well. So next, I'm going to discuss their agriculture. One of the techniques they used was slash and burn. They would slash all the trees in the area, and then they would set it on fire. And the ashes in the soil would make it rich, and that's when they would start growing their crops. They also used this raised bed farming. It was quite labor intensive. There was no laziness in Chichen Itza. There was a lot of roles that needed to be done, so people were really busy always. Each field that they made provided 2 or 3 crops a year. It was really good. The various crops that they grew was corn, squash, beans. They did a lot of fruits, and a lot of different animals lived in the area also. It was inhabited by various species. And the jaguar is one of their most sacred animals on the land also. There's a lot of jaguar prints that are built on top of the stones that they used. Jaguars are in the area, tapirs, monkeys, turtles, and various kinds of fishes. Next, I'm going to discuss the architecture. This is called the Castillo, and that's one of the most iconic images when you see Chichen Itza. It's made of stone and different kinds of limestone. They didn't use any wheels or animal labor to build this. They just built it by force and by man labor. And it took a very long time to build, but they eventually built it. And all around the areas are also built from stone. The people in villages, they never lived this is located in the center of the city, so they lived outside the city in little houses, little tombs and stuff. They also created a great ball court that's located right beside this also. The great ball court was a very square-like shape, and they would play soccer, but they wouldn't use a ball. They would cut off people's heads, and they would kick around the heads. And if the motive was to like score on the other person's goal, and they would do eliminations, and whoever won the game was sacrificed, and that was like a very high honor to win the game and be like sacrificed to the gods. So overall, Chichen Itza is a very highly visited tourist spot in Mexico. It's very rich in history and nature, and if you're like a history buff, this would be a perfect place to eventually visit in your lifetime. Thank you guys for listening to my presentation, and thank you so much.